But for Kungarna, hey, you never quite know. That's wubba dub dub, maybe Doomfist in the tub, as Boopasaurus likes to say right here. Changing things up a bit. I don't know if we're going to say Pika on the Symmetra is certainly, you know, a hero that we've... No. Oh, it's a hero that we've seen on Hanamura Point A, though, Boop. It's the great bamboozle.
So,
just teleport onto the point.
Do you want to hear a joke?
Yeah.
What happens when Pika sneezes?
I don't know.
Pikachu.
Oh.
Hey.
That's
sorry.
for all the 70-year-olds in the audience.
I'm sorry, everyone. I'm sorry you guys all just felt that way. Anyway, we're going to come back to Hanamura as the gates are about to open in about 3 seconds. I feel so ashamed of myself. Anyway, so Fusion University is going to start on this defense, and we're going to be seeing a lot of the same thing, but we are going to see Chongstick on that Winston versus Duplicate on that Reinhardt.
And this is going to be a major difference here. Oftentimes we see teams holding with that Reinhardt on the defense. Chongstick not going to have as much sustain in the face 1v1 versus Duplicate's Reinhardt. So he's going to have to be playing that positioning very carefully. But he's already 40% up to that Primal Rage. That Tesla cannon really working overtime.
Yeah, Kungarna looking for the best place to enter the objective right now. They're going to go ahead and drop below on the low ground and try to take this objective right here, right now. Wub is looking for that shield bash. I don't know if he's been able to use it just yet, but they've actually taken the fight onto the main area before the point. And now both Zenyatas are down, but Kungarna does have one more member. It is a 5v4 on the objective right now. Well, they're not quite on the objective just yet, but Bernard is going to even things up. Pika is out of that mech. That pretty much means one less tank, and what started off as a numbers advantage for Kungarna once again is going to end with the Fusion University teamfight win.
Yeah, Fusion University do hold. They lost, you know, a couple of members along the way, but Kungarna kind of taking the long scenic route for a lot of nothing. They have charged quite a few of their ultimates, but they did seem maybe a little bit lost on this point A. It didn't look like there was clear communication as to who they're going to be trying to take down. You saw them trying to aggress onto Bernard on the high ground. Interesting target focus. But this time around, as they come in, Chongstick caught out.
That's the wubba dub dub that we were talking about, that shield bash, and then the focus onto Chongstick to take him out of the fight all together. So this is an opening for Kungarna. Chongstick did have that Primal Rage. He could come back and use it if Fusion University is able to stall as long as possible. Its Onyx will be going down. Duplicate will be entering that Graviton Surge. The Unwilling Hug a little late, but it doesn't seem to matter. To self-destruct, not going to get anybody from Bernard, but Fusion University once again coming back, but Duplicate and more both have their ultimates. Chongstick will be back with that Primal Rage, and we might be able to see some environmental kills. Great self-barrier from Nice there to make sure he does not get taken down from that Earth Shatter, and it's a repeat of that last fight.
Ooh, Nice denies not just the Earth Shatter, but the charge as well. Duplicate can't even go back to spawn on his own terms right here, and Kungarna investing pretty heavily in that last fight, all for naught. They do have one tick to their name, so just a couple more fights and they may well have captured a full point A, but right now Fusion University looking in control. As you said, Boop, Chongstick gonna have that Primal Rage to stall the point out, but we cannot be a repeat of last time. He's hiding here, looking to get a little bit of early cleave on as Kungarna entered this choke, but a good shield bash will take down that Winston in a second.
Nice taken down on that Graviton Surge, but he's able to get his out as well, but no damage coming from Fusion University. The Sound Barrier is going to make sure everyone from Kungarna stays alive, and now they're down 2 people. Stillo and Nice are going to be having to come back from a spawn. The Primal Rage from Chongstick needs to find some value, and it doesn't look like it will, as there's only 2 seconds left on it. And thank God that hop cooldown is so low, or else he would have been jumping right back into the spawn, which he might need to do anyway. Look at this, my friends. Kungarna on top right now. They did get that second tick, and now they're going to finish it out, take this first point.
Yeah, Kungarna finally finding the opening that they needed. Speed boost really coming in handy right there in that wraparound through that hallway. Fusion University unable to hold on, but they do hold on to their Transcendence. No panic popping any of those ultimates, so they will have a little bit of wiggle room here on point B.
Oh, I love the aggression that we're seeing from Kungarna, but is it too much? The Transcendence is coming out from both sides. I believe Ward was just a little sooner on his Earthshatter, will be getting Elk, and is he going to be able to get taken down? No, oh, he almost escapes with his life. Graviton Surge coming from Kungarna. Self-destruct will be following it up. Bernard gets 1, and Kungarna is going to get the rest. If Fusion University is only rocking 2 members right now, some of them have to come back from spawn. They have gotten 2 ticks. Will they be able to get the third? Sound Barrier is going to keep Fusion University alive before they get back onto this point, and it's actually looking really good for Fusion University so far, as Nice is going to get a double kill. So just because of the map type Assault, Kungarna couldn't quite take all 3 points, but they did get 2.
Oh, that was incredible. So close. It looked like it was all lost when Fusion's Elk went down just a second away from that sound barrier, but Fusion again playing this intelligently. They knew they had more ticks to give. They're not going to be feeding any bodies onto the point. And they come back on Chongsik. Somehow that guy is just, covered in Crisco, manages to squeeze his way past that Kungarna offense off of the spawn, and Fusion University, they met their Marengo, but it's not their Waterloo just yet. They still have to hold for 3 minutes and 30 seconds, but Nice, slowly ticking up to that Graviton Surge, will have that threat on hand.
And so here we go. You hear the anthem up so that you know what that means is the action will be here. Graviton Surge is going to get 2 in the back line. That's going to be both supports down for Kungarna. This is an easy fight win for Fusion University, but Kungarna still has some time left.
Oh no, it's a golden day anytime you see a Reinhardt picking up 2 with a single charge, so Chongsik going to be patting himself on the back, and more importantly, he's going to be 60% up to his next Earth Shatter. Fusion University, staying on this high ground right here as we have another pause coming through. Hopefully, no technical issues, though that is likely what's plaguing these players right now. But yeah, Boop, this has just been some really clinical defense from Fusion University once again, playing with the cards that you have on hand, right? So you know that you have time, but not so many bodies, so objective is no longer really the major priority.
Well, you're saying that the defense has been clean for Fusion, and I think it has been, but Kungarna wouldn't have 98% on point B if it was completely clean, if you know what I'm saying. And so Kungarna, showing up at times, this Shatter is going to focus down Elk, and I actually think here it was good that he died before that sound barrier, because he was able to use it to get back onto the point and escort Fusion University back on and take it before they were able, before Kungarna was able to take the point altogether.
Exactly. It was a blessing in disguise, forcing him to get a little bit more value out of that sound barrier rather than tossing it out in, a potentially doomed fight, maybe just 2 defenders left. So no, you're right, Boop. Didn't give enough credit to Kungarna for how aggressively they played. We were actually saying, is this too aggressive? Transcendence is everywhere, Earth Shatters. But as you said, you pointed out, Duplicate had a beautiful moment where you highlighted he was able to take down Elk, right? And it's just that follow through, that target focus, because it has been a little bit of an issue for Kungarna that we saw on point A. You do have to remember that time to kill can become a problem for GOATs, as there is very little damage to be found. So those comms got to be clear if Kungarna want to take this point B.
All right, so Fusion University has the Transcendence and the Rally, so that's going to be enough to potentially stall a defense or attack from Kungarna. Duplicate, though, has that Earth Shatter, and that can change absolutely everything. And once again, Moore has a Transcendence, so he's been matching Alarm pretty well, making sure that he has a Transcendence when Alarm does, and that's exactly what you want to see on that the particle barrier. Onto Duplicate is going to try to give him an opening onto that Earth Shatter. He's going to go ahead and knock it down, but not get much out of it. Chongsik's going to be the only one that gets taken down. The Transcendence was just a little bit late. Self-destruct into the Graviton Surge does get Alarm, so Kungarna has an opening that they haven't had since 2 fights ago. Will they be able to take this last point? Snillo does get on there just in the last second, but in the end, Kungarna will get 2 points here on Hanamura. Now it's Fusion University's attack.
That was such a beautiful isolation of Chongsik to start off that fight from Kungarna. You take down that Reinhardt, and as you said, Boop, those Graviton Surge, Diva Bomb, Bigger Bang combos, which are oftentimes, kind of just like a luck of the draw, becomes so much more certain when you know that there's not going to be a meaty shield blocking all of your damage.
Yep, and Chongsik, once again, that main tank, if you're able to get that pick, and potentially if it's first, the rest will fall if the rest of the team is communicating and focusing down correctly. Hey, and that's why Quad Tank works in other places, right? And so anyway, maybe that's just like some subliminal messaging for these teams. But Fusion University looking pretty good. 1 minute and 58 seconds left for Kungarna. Fusion had some good defenses. Let's see how good their attack's going to be.
Indeed, they know that they would like to finish this map out with more than a minute on the clock. That means they're going to be giving themselves as good of a chance as possible coming up against Kungarna. But as you said, Boop, it's all about that teamwork sometimes, and Kungarna just, seemed like, again, everybody was on that same page. Man, the way that Chongsik just melted off of the playing field feels bad. Feels Reinhardt.
It feels Reinhardt, man. Anyone who's ever played Reinhardt in Mystery Heroes or Quick Play has experienced that exact same situation.
And for us masochists, we are still Reinhardt mains. It's okay. Send up a prayer for all of us right there. But Kungarna, for their defense, they're not going to be playing around around with that Winston. They're going to keep Duplicate on that Reinhardt. He did find a massive opening in that very last fight to seal the deal on point B with his Earth Shatter, so that's always going to be something good to have online. And of course, you are going to have that main shield tank to go head-to-head with Chongsik, who will also be repping that giant German.
All right, so we're most likely going to see some aggressive eye contact coming from both Reinhardts while they're jostling for position. The particle barrier, the self barrier from its Onyx is down, so Zarya can be taken down if they're able to take Duplicate shield down as well. And now they're just waiting for these picks. They're building that ultimate. When you hear they amp it up, that means Fusion University is going to go right back in, and you did hear it, but they're going to go right back to spawn as Duplicate is going to get a double kill to start this thing off.
2 kills for the price of 1. Sometimes all you need is a single hammer swing right there, and Duplicate far outpacing Chongsik in terms of that Earth Shatter charge. So that's going to be something that Fusion need to keep in mind here as we head into that mid game when some of these big ultimates start to come online. But Pika on that high ground, just scouting, not just for information, but putting in a little bit of chipped damage as well. Every little bit helps right here. It's Kungarna looking to hold at this choke again.
And so Pika very close to that self-destruct Duplicate. Will have an Earth Shatter here very, very shortly. It can change the tempo of this game, and the defense has actually been playing very, very well so far. Alarm has that Transcendence. It'll be the first ult online from both of these teams. Actually, Duplicate and Moore are going to beat him just in the nick of a time. Wub's going to use that shield bash, so it is down. The Earth Shatter is down as well, and it's going to be all Kungarna needs, and we're seeing a new team right now.
Yeah, Kungarna looking strong. Like that halftime really helped. Ate their Wheaties. They are feeling this defense right now. Shaved off quite a bit of time from Fusion University. Oh, poor D.Va. Poor D.Va. You know, it's just play D.Va, activate her passive. It's called getting stalled or staggered. But Fusion still have a couple good pushes to their name here, and they'll have both supportive ultimates. They've really enjoyed using Alarm's Transcendence as an aggressive indicator, so they may be seeing that coming through once again here. But Kungarna already topped up with all of that rally and rally armor from Wub.
But Fusion does have the Transcendence and Sound Barrier to get rid of this Graviton Surge, make it less impactful. Self-destruct from Kungarna could be big, and it will be a triple kill for Pika. And look at this once again, Fusion University going back to spawn.
Fusion University getting stymied again, and Bernard, it's this poor baby D.Va life right here, just the boops, is so cruel. But Kungarna are looking incredibly strong here. They've whittled Fusion down to their last minute and 30. This is going to be one good push, one more staggered, half-hearted push from the attackers. So they have to know that every single one of these ultimates is going to be precious. How much do we want to invest just to get point A? We've been having such a hard time so far, but if we can't get point A, there is going to be no point B. So we're probably going to see an all-out ultimate showdown.
Yeah, Sound Barrier is going to be launched for Fusion University, and he's going to get stunned right after that. Earth Shatter is not going to get anything as well from Kungarna, but Werner is going to get the first pick here, so it's a 6v5 for Fusion University. Alarm does have that Transcendence, and Kungarna's got nothing else until that rally comes to fruition, and that's exactly what we're going to see. The armor mitigation for Kungarna is going to be there, but Fusion University might have the damage to take this point. This is a 4v6 on the point right now, but Kungarna and Fusion University, those spawns are all going to come right back. Fusion University will have a little bit of an advantage, but not without their supports coming back in here, so they're down to 42 seconds left on a Hanamura here. That Graviton Surge might have been an overinvestment, as Fusion University does have another push.
Yeah, one last push, and they'll likely have all 6 members, but Kungarna know that. They want to try and cut off some of that right before they can even touch the objective right there. Onyx not going to have that Graviton Surge, but Moore has the Transcendence online, and Pika going to have yet another bomb. Who knows? He might not even need any kind of setup to get some massive kills right here. Fusion University, nice grab is going to have to be enormous.
But Moore does have the Transcendence. Self-destruct is there, and the Transcendence is such a great counter to that Graviton Surge. You will not see. Oh, it was forced out. Moore taken very, very low, and that means the Graviton Surge does have some damage to do, but no, Kungarna's going to do the damage instead, as Fusion University unable to take point A. Kungarna going to get their first map win here. Fusion University still up 2-1.
Still up 2-1, but this is such heartening news for any Kungarna fans out there. It's incredible. We were actually wondering, are they actually going to be able to take a map, and they have just proved all of their naysayers wrong. Anybody who didn't believe in this team, because that was a beautiful defense right there. You saw kind of what the strategy Fusion University was going for, grab them all in the choke and we're just going to run past them. But unfortunately, despite all of their best efforts, one, highly charged Zarya unfortunately does not a team make. So despite nice best efforts here with that Graviton Surge, the rest of his team members fell and Kungarna held.
The self-destruct was a big part of that victory for Kungarna, and what you saw there was them taking that momentum and sticking with it. We said before the half that Fusion University, anytime that Kungarna was able to get anything going, they took it away, but they were able to hold Fusion University on point A this time around. So not only is it good, it's got to be very good for both their mental, the mental aspect of this game, but also the momentum going into this last map.
Exactly, Boop. Point A of Hanamura is one of those points that you kind of, oh, eventually we're going to be giving it up. Let's think about, the end game on point B. So getting full held is going to be incredibly frustrating for Fusion University. Now you start to get those questions of, hey, maybe it is time for us to, change things up. We've been running a lot of goats, mirror goats versus Kungarna, and, potentially they've read our playbook.
And so here is Wub, and why we say Wub-a-dub-dub at times. The shield bashes, the rallies are there, the inspire healing. And so while this doesn't look like a ton from Wub, what's happening right here and right now is that he's getting that AoE healing on the rest of the team, and that's a big part of this GOATS composition.
Yeah, anytime the Brigitte is doing melee damage, you're getting all of that inspire healing, not only chunking down the opponent, but I think what was more important right there was you were playing keep away with Elk, keeping that Lucio away from the bulk of his team, so you can't even get any of that AoE tickle damage to heal them while they're caught in that grab. So really just good positional awareness from the Brigitte right there. Yeah,
so while not the flashiest character of all time, definitely an important one for this composition. As we've said before, it's also the way you get those Earth Shatters down, way that the self-destructs do connect, because a good timing on that shield dash means no shield for that Reinhardt. And so we've also been talking about Alarm a lot and the fragging potential from him, but one thing is for sure, while Moore hasn't shown up on the kill feed as much, he has gotten Transcendences at the same amount of time.
Absolutely. Please, sir, may I have some more of that fragging Zen? As you saw, he was putting in so much damage, and that is a very good indicator, Boop. You don't necessarily have to be hitting those, volleys, those headshots from across the map in order to be providing utility for your team. You saw that Moore was able to match Alarm toe-to-toe with that Transcendence generation, so he is going to be contributing in a large way to his team.
So if Kungarna wants to get to a Game 5, they have to win on Route 66. And stereotypically, this is where we're going to see a little bit more diversity in the team comp. I don't want to jinx it right now, so we won't theorycraft until we see the actual team comp. So one thing about Route 66 that's so exciting is that first hold on Big Earls.
This is a very common staging ground, one of those holding points that you have to expect when you play certain kinds of map. Route 66, that is definitely where most often you see the defense set up, especially if you have some dedicated hit scan. You put them on that high ground, pretty safe away from the advancing cart. But as of right now, Fusion University on the attack, so there's no knowing what they're going to roll out with. But Kungarna on the defense here, no surprises. They're going to be running largely the same kind of composition. More sticking with that Zenyatta. We mentioned how, we miss Grandma, we miss that Ana play, but the Transcendence has been such a key part of both of these team strategies, not just defensively, but also getting that extra burst of healing so you can just push forward aggro.
And so Kungarna is going to be holding very close to a spawn right now, so if Fusion University is able to get a pick, that could be brutal for Kungarna. Alarm is going to be rocking this Grandma, and look what Snillo's doing right now. Who is that? That's the guy we know as a Bastion. Let's see if they're going to be able to protect that President as we keep going through this map.
Exactly. Snillo actually not even making usage of that Chongsik's secret service staged on the high ground right now. He doesn't want to get aggressed upon by the death ball of Kungarna, just peppering in that damage from afar.
I loved what Snillo did this then. The rest of the team gave him the information of where the rest of Kungarna was, and that was what you call patience. But as of right now, Fusion University getting stuck on a Big Earl. Snillo needs to get a kill, but the support is there for Snillo. He's getting a ton of damage done, and he's very, very close to that ultimate.
Yeah, tons of damage. As we look at the health pools of these Kungarna tanks, there's not too much longer that they can just take all of these bullets to their faces. That damage mitigation will eventually run out. Oh, so much damage has come through. Moore already has the Transcendence, gonna pop it. And Kungarna, oh, how does it feel, Fusion University, when your own playbook gets thrown in your face right here? Snillo does go down, but res by Elk.
Oh, the Earth Shatter is there as well. Chongsik is gonna be on the ground. Rally done too as well, but look at Fusion University, coming back in style. Snillo getting a couple kills, still has that siege tank.
Exactly. We don't see Mercy too often anymore in this meta, but that resurrection mechanic is still so vital to teams that really need that snowball potential. Of Bastion in particular is one of those DPS that requires a lot of resource and a lot of setup from the rest of the team in order to get maximum value. Snillo does not want to be front-lining this, right? It's going to be Chongsik taking the brunt of the damage while he is providing that back line bullet farm right here as he has tank mode up and ready.
I love the patience from Snillo. We saw it just then again, but now let's go ahead and see if he's going to be able to do anything with this. A siege tank Wub getting very, very low, and he does get the kill onto Insomniac, and that's all that they're going to need to try to get to this first point. Kungarna down some numbers. Insomniac died with that sound barrier. Actually, if you had an ultimate, you died if you were on Kungarna. It was almost a death wish at that point, but wow, Moore getting a double kill. I guess he heard me. That is a good style of caster curse, but it doesn't matter. Fusion University will still get the second point.
Elk getting just a little bit too greedy. We're not all Neptuno. Moore is going to have the last word and actually buy Kungarna one more chance for a defense here. Snillo forced to give up a little bit of space. You have to be playing this very cautiously. It's going to get a lot harder to set up if they allow Kungarna to take this fight and push forward off the payload.
Well, Fusion University was looking good on this, but then all of a sudden we're down to 1 minute and 16 seconds. Self-destruct will get Chongsik, so no Reinhardt for Fusion University. They're stuck on this Bastion for the time being, and at this point, does he want to die and switch characters for this next push, or is it going to be too late?
Not quite sure right here. 60% up to the tank mode. He did get a couple of kills, really buttering up these tanks of Kungarna that could be so hard to take down, so there is value. No, Fusion University going to go for that long game. They want Snillo to be providing that sustainability for the rest of the team. Swap him back onto that Brigitte, provide cushion, Snillo pillows.
Well, I love that they tried it. It did work for a time, but if it wasn't for Moore, we would be seeing Streets phase right now. But look at Alarm and that Nano Boost. Has it on the right. He's going to go ahead and use it. The damage and the damage mitigation is there. The Earth Shatter doesn't really hit much. Chongsik's going to get pinned against the wall, but he's still nanoed, so the health was enough. But he's going to be taken down pretty early on in this fight, and Bernard's going to take down two. So what looked pretty bad for Fusion University getting into this fight on basically Moore's orbs. They will finally be getting the second point for real this time.
Oh yes, Moore. He is a skinny metal Omnic, but those shoulders are massive. Carried Kungarna in that last defense, holding down the fort, but Fusion University eventually able to force that cart all the way through. And now, nice, you know, just getting a look at this beautiful southwestern desert scenery, peppering Kungarna before they come back in, looking to maintain some of that Zarya charge, which is so crucial running goats.
We're going to get some good old-fashioned Overwatch. No ults for this next fight until Chongsik has that Earth Shatter, which he will have very, very quickly. But let's see when it will come online. It's right here, right now. Chongsik looking for that Earth Shatter. He's aggressing right now. That aggressive eye contact is strong. The Earth Shatter will get at least 5 there. And the rest of Fusion University sees this, takes advantage of it. Kungarna will struggle to come out on top here, as they're going to be not struggling to go back to spawn.
Yeah, it is a free, all expenses trip paid, Boop, to the defensive respawns as Fusion round this second corner. Now, they're going to have that rally to their name alongside Elk's sound barrier. You're right, that was just a beautiful Earth Shatter that laid all of Kungarna back on their backs on a platter for Fusion's picking right there. And again for Kungarna, there's no ultimates online this time around. So best case scenario, they're just going to be drawing ultimates out of Fusion for that third point fight.
Man, I love that Nice is trying to get the D.Va out of the mech so the Graviton Surge is free, as we have seen a ton of them get eaten so far, and that's why he's focusing now on Pika. The Graviton Surge, though, is not eaten because Pika was a little bit scared. Self-destruct is there, and is going to get a triple kill. That is the cooldowns. That's the team communication that we were talking about, Ham.
Exactly. You saw Nice actually warding away Pika, purposefully hurting that D.Va away from the rest of the team so that he knew that the Graviton Surge would be free, land perfectly, and then, of course, that great timed charge from Chongsik to open up the windows gaping wide for that Bernard self-destruct to come through. Bernard bombs, man. It's at least 3 apiece each time. It's crazy consistent.
Yeah, I wonder what those averages are, but we are now on a 0.3. Fusion University walked through Streets phase, and now they have a little over 2 minutes to try to get this third point and finish out Route 66. Earth Shatter is gonna whiff. The shield was up there in time. Shield dash a little bit late. Sound barrier is there as well. Pika's gonna have to blow up the rest of those shields while he's blowing up Chong. Chong6. So while it was wasted on the D.Va during the self-destruct, they are going to win this fight in the end. But the good news is for Fusion University, they did take that point before all this happened.
Yes, exactly. Kungarna, they're going to have just the Earth Shatter to try and hold for this next fight. Fusion, 1 minute and 30 seconds. So this is somewhat dangerous territory. You may have 1.5 fights left in your bank, especially if you're shooting for that map completion. More now will have that Transcendence line as well. We've seen Trances forced before. Will Fusion University be able to do it?
Oh, the Earth Shatter comes down. The value is not very high for that one. Verna has almost 1,000 health with the armor and the shielding, and he's able to pump in some damage, try to get to that self-destruct. Once again, he is very, very close. He's about 10% away. But while I'm saying that, Kungarna is going to be taking advantage of Fusion University's lack of positioning there and lack of focus, pushing him back to spawn.
Yeah, but Fusion University, they are going to have at least one more full 6 shot at this with the 4 ultimates online. Biggest, of course, will be nice Graviton Surge. So Kungarna, they did win that battle, but was it too clean? Was it too soon? Fusion have one more bite at this apple.
We said the same thing on Hanamura, but Kungarna, they took it into their own hands, and they were able to hold Fusion University at B. Now we're here on 3rd on Route 66, and it's actually a pretty good place to hold for Kungarna, but Fusion University is going to have 4, maybe 5 ultimates for this fight. Graviton Surge is coming up from both sides. Self-destruct is there. Are we going to see Elf Boop up again? Yes, we will. It will get Pika. The value wasn't as high as last time, but hey, the rest of the kills are there. Fusion University only using a couple ultimates there as well, so they're going to be rocking 2 for this next fight.
Oh no, and that Lucio Boop man is going to be online in another 4 seconds. So Elk going to be searching for those key repositionings. Fusion University, they are looking so close to finishing this out. It's going to be a battle. It's Onyx has that Graviton Surge online, but Pika already getting flushed. Oh, nearly demeched by Naste.
Oh, the Earth Shatter Onyx is on the ground right now. He's going to die with that Graviton Surge. That could prove to be absolutely brutal for the rest of his team. Fusion University up 6v5 right now on the objective. Self-destruct from Kungarna, and it's going to get 2. So this is a 5v4 with spawn advantage for Kungarna right now. We are in overtime, and all of a sudden, Kungarna is pushing Fusion University off of the payload. This wick will be done here in just a second. What a great self-destruct.
Blink and you'll miss it, folks. Kungarna, oh, with that rebound defense, denies Fusion University the map completion on Route 66. Incredible. I thought it was all going to be over, Boop, when you saw that Pika was nearly demeched, hiding away, trying to, save that Matrix from having to be used. But there was a high ground advantage from Nice, trying to use that laser, get that D.Va out of demech. You know that your Graviton Surge, if should you get one in the duration of the fight, will land. Not only that, but it provided tons of distraction. Chong6 laid down a big Earth Shatter, but we've talked about this before. Sound like a broken record, but time to kill is always an issue here, especially as you near those 3rd point holds. The defense respawns is such a huge advantage, and Kungarna working that perfectly.
He gets the DMAC. We might be seeing Fusion University with 3 points right now, so he's going to want that one back. That's going to be good for the game tape a little bit later, but Kungarna giving themselves an opportunity to take this map. They're going to be on the attack this time. Fusion University showing something very, very familiar on the defense.
Yes, and to their credit, they were playing this composition quite well. I was really enjoying the Bastion, not gonna lie, but nothing crazy on the defense this time. They're gonna be playing this, trying to play this disciplined as we've come to expect from this veteran team. But for Kungarna, I am actually very curious if this will come through. Sometimes we see solo healer, it's usually a Mercy alongside a Bastion, but hey, Zenyatta, it's okay, man. You have the opportunity to take your fate in your own hands. Yeah, man.
You've got strong air under you. You can carry the team, right? Even though you're floating, you can still carry a ton of weight, but that's not going to happen. One can only hope more is going to be on that Zenyatta Insomniac, on that Lucio, as we've seen for most of this game so far, as they're going to see each other for the first time.
Yes, and it is once again going to be a battle of wills. Duplicate, giving Chong6 the eyeball across the map. That's right. This is my corner, swinging the hammer. Just, stay limber.
This is my corner, friends, and he is upset about giving up that corner. Chong6 taken below half health. The shield bash, though, on to Kungarna, and the Discord Aura makes Duplicate reposition. Does charge. It's a tactical reposition for that Fire Strike right there. Particle Barrier is down for Fusion University, but look at those ultimates. Nice, going to be the first one on Zarya to get an ultimate.
Again, Chong6 Chongsik, one of the first ones down for Fusion University, but they bounce back and win the fight in spite of it, off of the back of some amazing play from Nice, who's going to have that Graviton Surge. I mean, the numbers don't lie, Boop. Nice is playing out of his mind right now. And one of the things when you see that Reinhardt go down so low, it is not just the fact that your main tank needs healing, but there is so little healing that you're going to have to swap the Lucio onto heals, and you're not going to be able to speed boost the rest of your team out of harm's way.
Yeah, Kungarna's going to need at least one more fight before they compete with Fusion University and their ultimates, but maybe I am wrong, as Love is going to take things onto his own flail and get the first 2 picks for this fight, but Fusion University gets one right back. Alarm does have that Transcendence, is going to go ahead and use it. Self-destruct is out for Fusion University, and Insomniac gets picked off, so Fusion University is back here, but the rest of Kungarna will be coming from spawn here very, very shortly. Transcendence now from Moore to try to keep the rest of Kungarna alive, but will it be enough? And yes, the kills are coming in for Kungarna at this point, and finally, they're going to get back on this payload and make more progress, but will Fusion University contest again?
A risky play right there from Moore to pop that Transcendence. I do believe he was trying to keep some of his team members alive just a little bit too late, but it did work out. They were able to capitalize off of the back of its Onyx Graviton Surge, as Fusion University were down so many members they couldn't possibly mount a defense, but now as they come back in, will they invest Elk's Sound Barrier here?
Oh, but they do invest a self-destruct. Kungarna does nothing coming from that, but Nice is going to get the revenge kill on it to Wub. This is a 5v5. No Reinhardt for Fusion University, so they are in a weaker position. Let's see if Kungarna is going to take advantage of that, and it looks like they will with that D.Va D-Mech, so there are no tanks for Fusion University. Chongsik is going to be coming back from spawn. The Sound Barrier from Kungarna is going to wrap this up for them. They will be taking this first point. They made it past Big Earls, my friends.
Past Big Earls and past that unfortunate small time bank that Fusion University had on their own attacking phase. Kungarna now sitting with about 4 minutes to get that point B capture, and it's Onyx already ready with yet another Graviton Surge, just looking for targets here. Just put me in, coach. I am ready, steady.
Scouting is on everyone's job description here in Overwatch. Information is so important, and it's Onyx is going to try to give them a good Graviton Surge. They need to get at least 2 or 3 people if they want to get that confirmation of those kills and push that damage through, but it looks like it's Onyx is going to cede some space. Earthshatter from Fusion University, though, is going to come out. Duplicate is going to get in there as well. Graviton Surge from Kungarna not really doing much, and the Transcendences from both sides are going to be there, but a big thing happened just then. Moore's Transcendence ran out before the Graviton Surge did, and that's why you're seeing these kills.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kungarna didn't have a Sound Barrier to layer after Moore's Transcendence. That is the most ideal situation, the safest situation you could find yourself in as a team in today's meta. You would really ideally have both of those online. So just in case you ran out of some of that enlightenment, you still have the music to keep your team bopping and happy if the enemy has a Graviton Surge or more ultimates to throw your way. Kungarna, they're still going to have another push here. Wub applying a little bit of that armor, buffering up Kungarna for this next engagement.
Yeah, Duplicate could get a big Earthshatter self-destruct and pick out more. That seems to be happening over and over again. Burnoff throws a self-destruct and gets one of the supports, giving Fusion University an advantage.
Unlucky. The Kungarna supports are just, magnets for these self-destructs. Got to take a look at that. Only one of you is actually made of metal. So Kungarna, suffering an early loss of one of their supports, is going to have to reset once again. And they have been drawing these ultimates out of Fusion University. That is fair, but in the same point, they're building them back up in even faster fashion here. Kungarna, they just can't quite keep up.
Yeah, Fusion University are going to get back to 4 ultimates for this defense, and with a minute and 58 seconds left, if they're able to use them in the right order, they could potentially keep this until the end of the game and keep that ultimate advantage. Kungarna, though, slowly catching up. It's Onyx 20% away. Could have it grabbed by the end of this. Earthshatter not going to get much. It will get its Onyx onto the ground. They're going to focus him down and take him out of this game. The Reinhardt say hello to each other. They butt heads. They lay down. It's kumbaya moment for both. But one is still alive and one isn't.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. I was going to say it's like meeting under the mistletoe, except one of you's dead. It's just not quite how you get into the holiday spirit. Just going to put it out there. But Fusion University looking very comfortable right now. Support ultimates are the currency that these fights have been won off of so far. So Kungarna right now, they do have 2 to Fusion's 1, but it is once again just going to be a battle of those unwilling hugs. Who is going to be popping that grab first, and who wants to invest as a support ultimate into one of these fights where oftentimes, it might not go your way.
Alarm does not have that Transcendence. Grab Dog Searchers are from both sides. Transcendence is there for more, but again, another self-destruct on to a support, Ham.
Yeah, Insomniac going down, taking the long sleep, the dirt nap right here as Chongse cleans up more with a Fire Strike. Snillo mopping things up, and Fusion University have been an unmovable, stalwart bunker right here off of that point A spawn, and Kungarna running out of time, running out of options.
Yeah, it's like Wile E. Coyote running into the tunnel that's really just a wall, right? That seems to be exactly what Kungarna is dealing with right now. I also like how thematic that is with this map. But anyway, back to Overwatch. 3 ultimates for Kungarna, 3 for Fusion University. The rally was just a drop, so the armor is going to be there for both teams, and so is the AoE Inspire healing. Self-destruct coming from Kungarna, not going to get much. Sound barrier now from Kungarna is going to keep them alive, but Duplicate is actually taken very, very low. No more armor for him, and no more life for him either. So this is 65 on the payload for Fusion University, and now the kills are going to be coming in. Fusion University is going to lock this thing up. While they did not take the sweep, they will be taking the series 3-1 against Kungarna. Fusion University going to go to 2-0 in NA Contenders.
Yes, another win goes the way of Fusion University. They're going to be feeling, a lot better. This was not as close of a struggle as their first week win, so a 3-1 right there for Fusion University. But we have to remember that Kungarna was playing very good Overwatch right there. Took a map off of the Season 2 champions.
Well, I think there's a lot of good stuff that you saw as this game went on. They definitely got a little bit better, but they weren't able to put it all together at once. They took these moments and they had advantageous positions, but they didn't do much with it.
Exactly. Sewing needle and thread. Now it's time to put together the entire quilt. As you said, Boop, playing GOATS is all about that consistency, and we know Kungarna have those clutch standout moments, and now just time to start to see that flow together.
Well, if there's one player on Kungarna that you say, hey, man, this guy was super consistent, I think that this is a good person to build off of, and props to you for staying in this game, because taking that map is a big deal for them. Who would it be?
Oh, that's a pretty hard one, Boop. You're putting me on the spot. Well, of course, you got to shout out the main tank you're taking. It is a very thankless job these days, but Duplicate certainly playing within his own really trying to take his fate into his own hands. That's not something that you can do a lot of times as a Reinhardt. And of course, Pika with a lot of standout bombs. But honestly, I would say it's a cop-out, but it's the whole team, right? Pika wouldn't have gotten those bombs. It's real. It's real. Don't take away from
Teams are real.
Teams are real, Boop. There is no I in teamwork and a lot of other words. But what's relevant here is that the cohesion, the synergy, right? Pika's, those bombs would not have landed if there had not been the setup from the rest of his teammates. That's what we saw put Fusion over the line time and time again. It was that communication, knowing when to give up the objective, when they're going for these massive shatters. Beautiful one right here from Chongse. Charge coming through, pins that Zenyatta, and it's just hammer time.
Man, and that's the wonder of GOATS. Gets a pin, gets an Earth Shatter, and does no damage. And so the Transcendence was there. All the healing was as well. But that's exactly why the communication between the teams and the interaction relationship between each GOATS comp on opposite sides is so important. You got to track those ultimates, because you just saw a potential 2 picks or a D-Mech turn into nothing.
Yeah, Fusion University themselves had a really good opportunity to actually finish out all of Route 66 if that communication maybe had come through a little bit closer. Another bomb combo right here, catching out Insomniac. I would say that if there was anything, concrete for Kungarna to focus on in their next week, it's going to be a little bit of those positioning issues, right? Insomniac did go down very early, often to a bomb, which is not something that we would expect. Of course, he may have been mispositioned, locked in a 1v1 with the enemy Lucio. That could be something. But if you do, the matter of the fact is, if you lose your Lucio so early on, you're going to be fighting with a massive disadvantage. So hopefully we're going to see, Kungarna maybe tighten things up a little bit there.
Well, getting the support picks on almost every single bomb, it was one pick, but it was super important. Makes Bernard, I think a potential nominee for the MVP for Fusion University. Who would you pick?
You just stole my pick, man. Burn ours bombs. It's going to be TM. Those were such great combos. Oftentimes, again, you know, we see that Graviton Surge, Diva Bomb combos, the timing can be so difficult to tie down, but Fusion University, time and time again, they were able to get that to land and, you know, come up with huge results. It is a big investment coming, you know, throwing in 2 ultimates, but if you are able to capitalize, even a single pick is oftentimes enough.